Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm going to watch this to know how valuable you are. Gaur does. So for me, I would never say I'm valuable. It's really weird to have this it kind of gives a little bit of a I am more important kind of deal. And that's not something, that can be easily kind of corruptible. She's like, oh, I'm very valuable, as though no one else is valuable. That's why I don't like to think of myself as valuable or anyone is valuable. Just that, you're like everyone else. You're not more or less important than anyone else. So let's go ahead and start him.
A man once called his son and told him that he would give him something extraordinary, something extremely valuable. From within a safety vault, he pulled out a red velvet box and gently opened it. Inside the box was an old watch. As he handed the watch over to his son, the man said, "This watch is very special. It has come down to us over 3 generations and is at least over 200 years old. You can use it, you can keep it as a memoir, or just sell it and get money to buy whatever you like." A little disappointed, the young son looked at his father and said, "Dad, this watch is so outdated. I don't think I can wear it. And it's so old, I'm not even sure if it could be sold." The man took his son to a watchmaker's shop nearby to show him how valuable the watch was. The watchmaker examined the watch carefully and said, "Since the watch is so old, all I can give you for this is $5. The young man turned to his father with an expression on his face which was like, "I told you, right?" The father then took his son to a pawn shop where they offer you a loan for personal items kept as collateral. The owner of the pawn shop looked at the watch for a while, turned to the man and said, "You expect money for this piece of scrap? All we would do with this is we would throw it in the rubbish bin. Sorry, we cannot offer anything for this." Relentless, the man now took his son to a museum. They went to see the chief of the museum, who was an expert in finding the worth of old things. When the chief saw the watch, he exclaimed, "Incredible, so well crafted, such precision in its design. Look at the quality of the materials. A watch like this is priceless. We can offer you $1 million for this. Thank you for choosing to come to us with this watch." The young man stood there gobsmacked with eyes wide open, not even blinking, as his father, the proud owner of the watch, very happily accepted the deal and sold the antique piece for $1 million.
I'll say this, I don't think museums can buy stuff. They're not to buy antiques. But again, this is just to tell the story and to tell a point. But I watch Pawn Stars and they get a guy from a museum, but it might be just state-owned museums maybe, that they cannot buy it. They cannot put an offer in anything, or let me say, they cannot put an offer onto stuff or price stuff because, that's not their job. And I think maybe museums can buy stuff, perhaps I'm a little bit wrong there, but I mean, like in terms of like when you go to the pawn shops to appraise stuff, they can't really appraise things. They can tell you the facts about it, whether it's the right time period and everything. I don't know. How does museums get? I think it's donations, maybe. Maybe they do buy stuff. I'm not sure.
As they both walked back home, the father said, "Always know this one thing, son. Like the watch, you will only be valued if you are in the right place. Watchmakers repair watches. Their eyes can see tiny screws and watch parts, but a wrong place for an antique piece like this. Pawn shops use them as collaterals. They can only see everything based on their current market value. Wrong place for an antique piece like this. But at a museum which displays ancient, valuable antiques, experts can see beyond watch parts, beyond the current market rates of watches. They can see the actual value of the object. Absolutely the right place for an antique piece like this. So son, if you find yourself not being valued, don't get angry or frustrated. know that you're probably in the wrong place, being judged by people who see tiny parts of you, tiny parts of your life, not the whole you, or being judged by people who see you for how much is your net worth, how much is your current market value. They see you for what you have, not for who you are. Look for those who go beyond all externals, who have the expert vision to see the true you beyond all your shortcomings and all your faults. Those who can see your true value, your true potential. They will inspire you to do well, to live well, to love, to grow, and to rise in life. Guys, isn't it true that every individual has a special sense of worth? All we need is someone who can see that worth in us and make us see that worth in ourselves as well. There's a beautiful Sanskrit verse which says, Amantram aksharam nasti. There's no akshar or letter that cannot be turned into a mantra. Nasti moolam anaushadham. There's no plant, root, herb that is not medicinal. Ayogyam purusham nasti. There's no person who's ayogya or unworthy. But you know, guys, what's lacking? Yojakas tatra durlabha. What's lacking is an expert who can see the value, the worth in us and encourage us on our paths.
Okay, I get the message. Let me nitpick here, and then go to the message. So a real watch person who repairs watch, who only repairs watch and nothing else, will not know the value of the watch. A person who repairs watch and generally likes antiques, especially watches, and that's the reason why he's in repairing watch, will know the value of the watch. A pawn shop owner, generally speaking, if he has, hookups? Is that the right word? He has people that he knows that can give him the value of a watch, or is a really good pawn person. If you go to a random pawn person, yeah, maybe it's like, oh, that's maybe $20. And but if you go to if you ever watch Pawn Stars on YouTube, you'll see some of the things where they kind of know, it's like, this looks antique, looks like about the right time frame, and this could be during World War II. It could be held by a soldier and it could be worth a lot of money, but I'm not too sure, but I know someone who might. That's what they'll always say. They'll get an expert to come in and they'll verify that, yep, this is from World War II. This name is actually from a famous soldier, and that just increases the prices of stuff. So yeah, it all depends. Again, I guess that actually falls into what it says. If you go to the wrong watchmaker, you could say that nothing's worth nothing's trash. But if you go to the right pawn maker, it could be like, oh my gosh, it's a priceless. It's priceless. I could be $20 for it, but very priceless. $20, priceless. $1 million, and then it says priceless in the museum. But I get what they're trying to say. Essentially, it's something that's probably like I want to say a one of a kind, but probably that that hasn't survived history. So it's kind of like it's the last one. So anyways, but yes, I guess I do agree with this story. You could find a job that may not use you to your full potential, may not see you for your full value, and just use you for what they hired you for, and it could be missing out on a lot of things, and you are too, because you probably don't know what your full potential is. I could see that. Or if you go to somewhere who's a bit more professional, who's more seasoned, who can say, that kid is actually, I'm noticing something. I wonder if I could put him in this position of a job. Maybe he can shine here. And they put you in that position. All of a sudden, you're just I don't know what the right phrase to say. Like, you're just popping off. I don't know. You're excelling at that job. You probably didn't realize this, and you're like, oh my gosh, I like this job. It's so much fun. It's so invigorating, and I can make a lot of money. And the guy says, yeah, I kind of noticed that about you. That's the reason why I put you in that job, and I see this is where, well, either your full potential or at least some of your potential. So yes, Gaur is right in that, in terms of, you don't know how people can see you, whether they can use you to your full potential, and whether you yourself can see your full potential somewhere. Sometimes you do need help. Sometimes you need external eyes, especially if you don't know yourself. But yes, if you know yourself, then you know what you're good at and what you're not. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you always, how do I say, even if you realize who you are, that doesn't mean you completely know your body necessarily. I think you know your potentialities of your bodies for sure when it happens. Like you're able to understand that this body is temporarily. You understand that it has emotions and feelings and muscles and sores and all of that. But maybe the full capabilities of the body is maybe not. I don't know. I don't know if you being enlightened all of a sudden you 100% know your body or not. But unless you try, you won't know. That's my experience. So I don't know what my full potential could be. Maybe sleeping is my full potential, but that hasn't been successful lately, so maybe not that one. But yeah, until you try, you probably won't know. And there are people out there who can see certain things and maybe point you in the right direction. But yeah. Anyways, that's my reaction to watch this to know how valuable you are. I don't like to say how valuable you are. It's just it can get a bit egotistical. What would I say instead of that, though? Watch this to watch this to see how much potential you have. I think that's a good one. How much potential that you have, because a normal watchmaker won't see how much potential there is in a watch, value or potential. Pawn shop. If you don't go to the right one, they'll probably. As a matter of fact, yeah, they might not see how valuable the watch is. As a matter of fact, in one of the episodes in Pawn Stars, the guy goes to another city and goes to a pawn shop and sees a hat that they're trying to sell for $20, and he, in good conscience, couldn't buy it for $20 and told him that the hat was around $5,000. And then I think he bought it from the dude for $4,000. Again, one of the pawn shop owners that owned that originally didn't know the actual value of it, just because he just saw it as like an old antique thing. Maybe it's not, maybe it's fake. But I guess whenever he looked at it, he knew quite a bit about it, but again, not 100% sure. But he looked at it and was very familiar with those styles of, I think it was like a samurai hat or samurai helmet, and he told him the worth of it, roughly the worth of it. So again, go to the right person. You may find out what your potential is. Anyways, if you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.